The first person the devil uses to destroy a strong marriage is not a stranger. It is the friend who always agrees with you, who never tells you that you are wrong. That feels like love. It is actually the slowest poison there is. Here is the truth almost nobody tells you. A strong marriage is too strong to break from the outside. So the devil does not attack the front door. He does not send a monster. He sends people you already trust, people you already let inside the house. And by the time you finally see what they are doing, half the damage is already done. So let us name them. 5 types of people the devil uses. And the 5th one is someone almost every married person lets into their life without ever noticing the danger. 1. The friend who only takes your side. This is the one most people never suspect, because this friend feels so good to talk to. You complain about your husband, and they say he was wrong. You complain about your wife, and they say you deserve better. They never push back. They never say, "Wait, did you do anything to start this?" They just agree every single time. And that is the trap. A small annoyance is normal in marriage. Your spouse leaves dishes in the sink. Your spouse forgets something you said. By itself, it is nothing. But take that small thing to a friend who only agrees, and they will help you grow it. They water it. They feed it. I can't believe he did that to you. That's so disrespectful. And now, a tiny seed of irritation has become a tall, ugly resentment, and you did not even plant it yourself. They planted it for you. The Bible says something sharp about this. It says, "The wounds of a friend can be trusted, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful." Read that again. A real friend will wound you a little. A real friend will tell you the truth even when it stings. Hey, that's your fault too. Go fix it. The friend who only ever kisses your ego, who only ever agrees, is not protecting you. They are slowly turning you against the person you promised to love. So here is the protection. Find friends who love your marriage, not just friends who love you. A friend who loves your marriage will send you back home to talk it out. A friend who only loves you will keep you on the phone complaining for 2 hours. Learn the difference, because the next person on this list does not even pretend to be a friend. They pretend to be a memory. 2. The old flame who comes back. The ex who suddenly reappears, just to catch up. The person from years ago who slides back into your life and says, "I always wondered what could have been." Watch the timing. This person almost never shows up when your marriage is happy. They show up when it is hard, when you feel tired, unseen, taken for granted. And that is not a coincidence. The devil has perfect timing. He waits for the lonely moment, and then he sends someone who only knows the old you, the fun you, the you with no bills and no arguments and no real responsibility. That is the lie. The old flame is not offering you a real person. They are offering you a highlight reel, a memory with all the bad parts cut out. Your spouse knows the real you, the messy you, the tired you, and chose to stay anyway. The old flame only knows a story, and a story always looks easier than a marriage, because a story never has to do the dishes. The protection here is simple, but hard. No secret doors. Nothing you have to hide from your husband or your wife. The moment you find yourself deleting a message or smiling at your phone and turning it away, the door is already cracked open. Close it. A strong marriage has no locked rooms inside it. And speaking of doors, the next person does not knock on yours. They were given a key a long time ago. 3. The family member who never accepted your spouse. Sometimes it is a mother. Sometimes a father, a sister, a brother. Someone who, from the very beginning, decided your husband or your wife wasn't good enough. And they have never let it go. This one is dangerous because it hides inside love. They will say, "I'm only telling you this because I care about you." And maybe a part of them does. But every conversation slowly becomes a courtroom. They keep a file. They remember every mistake your spouse ever made, and they bring it up again and again. Remember what he said at Christmas? Remember how she acted last year? They are not helping you forgive. They are helping you keep score. The very first instruction God gave about marriage answers this directly. He said a man will leave his father and mother and join his wife, and the two become one flesh. Leave and join. That word, leave, is there for a reason. It does not mean stop loving your parents. It means your marriage is now the closest bond in your life, closer than the family you grew up in. When you let a relative outrank your spouse, you have broken the order God set up, and a house built in the wrong order will not stand. The protection is to build one wall around the two of you, a united front. Whatever the problem is, you solve it together, first, before anyone else gets a vote. And you never let an outsider, even a beloved one, sit in judgment over your husband or your wife. The next person never criticizes your spouse at all. That is exactly what makes them so effective. 4. The one who makes your spouse look small. This person never says one bad word about your marriage. They do not have to. They just shine. The friend with the perfect husband. The couple online who always look happy, always traveling, always laughing. The coworker whose wife seems to do everything right, and you start to compare. You look at your own spouse, your real, flawed, human spouse, standing in the kitchen in old clothes, and a quiet thought creeps in. Maybe I settled. Maybe everyone else got something better. That thought did not come from God. Comparison is one of the oldest weapons the devil owns because it takes something good and makes it feel like a disappointment simply by holding it next to a fantasy. And remember, you are comparing your full story, the boring days and the hard nights, to someone else's highlight reel. You see their photo. You do not see their fights. You do not see their tears. You are measuring your whole truth against their best 10 seconds. And of course you lose, because it was never a fair fight. The Bible gives the cure, and it is the exact opposite of comparison. It is gratitude. It says in everything give thanks. Comparison says, look what I'm missing. Gratitude says, look what I already have. You cannot do both at the same time. So protect your eyes and protect your thoughts. Every time you catch yourself comparing, force yourself to name one real thing you are thankful for in your own spouse. Starve the comparison. Feed the gratitude. And now we reach the last one. The type almost everyone lets in, because this person feels like the most honest friend you have. 5. The bitter one. The friend who is miserable and wants company. Maybe their own marriage failed. Maybe they are still in one but gave up on it years ago. And now their pain has turned into advice. Hard, cold advice. All men are the same. All women cheat eventually. Stop trying so hard, it never works. If I were you, I'd just leave. Here is why this one is the most dangerous of all 5. The others attack your spouse. This one attacks your hope. They are not trying to steal your husband or your wife. They are trying to convince you that marriage itself is a lie, that love is foolish, that fighting for it is a waste of your life. And the moment you believe that, you stop fighting. You stop praying. You stop trying. The marriage does not explode. It just slowly goes cold because you gave up on it on the inside. There is an old saying, and it is true. Misery loves company. A person drowning in their own bitterness does not want to see you swim because your hope makes their giving up feel like a choice instead of a fate. So they reach up and try to pull you down to where they are. Not out of hate, out of pain. but the result is the same. The Bible warns that bad company ruins good character. It does not say bad enemies. It says bad company. The people you sit with, listen to, and believe. So protect your hope like it is the most valuable thing you own, because it is. You can rebuild almost anything in a marriage as long as two people still have hope. You can rebuild nothing once the hope is gone. So look again at all five. The friend who only agrees, the old flame, the relative who never accepted your spouse, the one who makes your marriage look small, and the bitter one who wants you to quit. Notice what they all have in common. Not one of them comes as an enemy. Every single one comes wearing the face of a friend. That is the whole strategy. The devil cannot break a strong marriage with hate, so he uses sympathy, nostalgia, concern, comparison, and honesty turned bitter. He uses the people you already let inside. But there is one thing every one of these five cannot survive, and it is the simplest thing of all. A marriage with God in the center has a guard at the door. The Bible says, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. He flees. He runs. He is not nearly as strong as he pretends to be, and the moment a husband and wife stand together with God between them, every one of these five voices loses its power. So guard your door, watch who you let speak into your marriage, and put God at the center every single day. Because a marriage built on that ground does not just survive the attack, it becomes the kind of strong that the devil stops bothering to test.